know that it is difficult for you to grow tourism without having a resounding aviation industry. And that explains why tourism is growing very fast and well in South Africa. Reason being that they have a good aviation industry that supports tourism. When it's difficult for movement, it will be difficult for you to grow your tourism. And a lot of people still don't understand what tourism is all about. It's all about selling happiness. All about making people happy. There's too much frustration around that we have to put smile on people's faces. And the only way you can do it is through tourism. The future of tourism in Africa holds great potentials, but its expansion and development depends on better transport infrastructure, including air transport, land, and waterways. In addition, open borders and improved marketing of the niche sector, such as adventure and ecotourism travelers. That's one area that the rest of the world do not have so much to offer. Africa is blessed with natural resources. So when you talk about ecotourism, we have it in abundance. We just need to tap into it. The rest of the world will come to us. Let's use what we have to get what we need. Africa should be tired of just being unnecessarily thirsty when we're sitting by the river. All we need to do is just dip our hands or bury our head into the water and quench this thirst for God's sakes. While Africa accounts for 15% of the world's population, it received 3% of the world's tourism. Can you see that? 15% of the world's population, and we can only account for 3%. So we spend more time going outside the continent than within the continent. What are we looking for? It's because we've been made to believe that there's better life, more fun outside the continent. And we have everything we need in abundance here. African tourism potentials, critical investment are needed in key investment sectors like transport, energy, water, telecommunication. Even though there has been improvement in telecommunication, internet facility is still a great challenge and expensive to manage compared with their counterparts in other continents where the internet is free at major locations such as the airport, hotel, city center, etc. That's one thing the world has used to attract people to them. Every European country, airport you go to, internet is free. We're yet to explore such in Africa. The hasty need for solid infrastructure in terms of good road and transportation corridor for better airline connections and fewer visas to cross African border are just a few of the reasons tourism has not taken off like it should. According to the World Tourism Organization, 63.6 million international tourists arrived Africa in 2012, compared to 17.4 million visitors in 1990. The top site country for international tourists received in 2012 were in descending order. Egypt came first with $9.4 billion in tourism. South Africa next with 9.9. Morocco 6.7. Tunisia $2.1 billion. Tanzania $1.5 billion. And Mauritius $1.4 billion. You will notice no country in the sub-Sahara. West Africa in particular needs to wake up and look beyond the challenges. Ebola has come and gone. Now the next is mudslide in Sierra Leone. We should look beyond all those things. Things like this happen everywhere around the world. They don't focus on their challenges. They focus more on their strength. We should focus on our strength. The economic potential of tourism remains viable with direct or indirect impact on employment. In Africa alone, travel and tourism generated 2.8 million direct jobs in 2012. Africa is home to the world's youngest population with close to 70% of its population between the age of 25 and youth consisting about 34% of the labor force, making up approximately 60% of unemployment. For this reason, African Union should aim at promoting tourism through the development of cross-border infrastructure and regional transportation corridor, which will facilitate movement of people and goods in the continent. Africa's future looks bright, given the huge growth in adventure and ecotourism, coupled with the rich cultural heritage and natural beauty. Already several airlines around the world have plans to expand their routes, so those untouched beaches and remote villages will become a thing of the past. For investors, the next big thing in the emerging world could be Africa's lion economies, featuring several of the same attributes as other developing nations' superstars. Africa has the potential of being a big winner in long term. Investors with longer timelines should consider adding exposure to the continent, not just in the area of travel and tourism, but also in other sectors like agriculture, telecommunications, and infrastructures, among others. 7 countries in Eastern, Central, and South Africa have begun talk aimed at establishing a multinational Pan-African airline. Also, other important factors which are tourist attractions of which Africa is not in short supply, like adventure and ecotourism, coupled with the continent's rich cultural heritage and natural beauty. God has done enough for us on this continent, and with the creative ability of our people, more of such facilities are going to spring up in years to come. My charge, therefore, is that we should look inward and realize that we indeed have the capacity to own the world in the next few years. But that will only happen when we prepare for it. Potential not nurtured easily go to rot. I hope we'll find the grace to work towards making the best of now to prepare a greater future for ourselves and our generations unborn.